Hey, you've been gone.
I have. I went to the East Coast.
The East Coast.
Went to visit my sister-in-law, Karima, who moved to Maine. But we thought, why don't we fly into Boston and kind of take our time and work our way north and check out some stuff there we haven't seen before.
Okay.
Now, where did she move to in Maine?
It's just outside of Portland.
Outside of Portland.
But we thought, okay, we'll fly into Boston. Let's go check out Salem, Massachusetts.
What? So you drove from Boston to Maine?
Yeah,
ultimately?
we rented a car. And now, my guess is this is high atop Katie's list of places she wants to go spend some time.
Yeah, because you want to go see where witches were burned.
Now, they weren't burned. I learned all kinds of stuff, by the way.
Were they drowned?
No. So Salem, Massachusetts, we decided to take a haunting walking tour of see different sites and hear stories and learn about the witches and all of that, which was super fun. And learned about Salem, Massachusetts and witches, which is the first thing you think about when you think of them.
Yeah.
I think of cigarettes, but that's just me.
There was a tiny blip in the history of the town. Like it was known, but not really talked about. Do you know when it became widely known and talked about and became a thing? In 1972, Bewitched was the most popular TV show in the country.
Yeah.
The studio where they filmed Bewitched burnt to the ground in the middle of their recording season. And they said,
in Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles. And they're like, what are we going to do?
Okay.
And somebody that worked for Bewitched had the bright idea, you know what we should do? We should move all of this to Salem, and we'll write a storyline about the witch trials in Salem. And Samantha Stevens is going to go back in time
Because
and
there's a
save
lot of
the witches.
There's a lot of comedy to be mined there of burning witches at the stake.
And at the time, Salem, Massachusetts was a depressed economy.
Yes.
No tourism.
So they were happy to have.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Hollywood comes to town and saves the town. That, I think it was a 4-run episode of Bewitched. Apparently, Salem decided, hey, we should lean into this witch thing. Because it was super popular. And if Macy can put up the picture, there is a statue of Elizabeth Montgomery in a very prominent place in the.
Which one of those two is Elizabeth Montgomery?
She's the one that looks more animated than I do. But they truly credit her because nowadays Salem, Massachusetts, in the month of October gets 1 million visitors, and it's witch everything. The police cars have a witch on a broom on the police car, like the official car of Salem. Witches have saved Salem, Massachusetts.
Wow.
It's a huge tourist attraction.
Now, but what do you mean they didn't burn witches?
So part of the haunting tour, we went to... Now, first of all, the Salem witch trials didn't happen in Salem. There's some little village outside of Salem where all of this happened. But they did not burn the witches, they hung the witches.
Well, okay.
Hang the witch. Hang. No.
Doesn't have the same.
No.
Yeah.
No. And there is a cemetery in the middle of Salem where I think it was 10 people in all. Not all women, by the way. 10 people in all.
Well, you mean there were warlocks?
They didn't call them that, but there were men that were accused of being witches, and they were also hanged. 10 of them in this cemetery where you can see, and I sent one of these pictures too. The very first girl who was hanged, her name was Bridget Bishop, and she was hanged on June 10th, 1692.
Oh, it just says Bridget Bishop hanged.
Yeah. So no burning of the witches.
Sarah Good, Rebecca Nurse, Susanna Martin. I knew a girl named Susanna Martin. Elizabeth Howe and Sarah Wilds. It says.
Burn the witch! Burn the witch!
Now, why did they think there were witches?
Because they were.
Because they were smart.
There was a minister in town.
Is that Mather, Cotton Mather?
I can't remember his name.
I think it was Cotton Mather.
Who had a slave that he picked up in Barbados along the way,
Yeah.
Okay.
like you did back then.
Sure.
And she would take care of his children.
Mary Sibley.
And his children, she went to him one day and said, "The kids are acting funny.
Okay.
They're speaking weird. They're acting weird. They're now nobody has ever figured out. There was probably some medical problem, something they were all eating or something they were exposed to that was causing this behavior. They've never been able to prove what that is. Or they're witches. Believe what you want.
I think they were witches.
But different people in the community started exhibiting these different things. And they said, oh, well, the caretaker from Barbados, surely she's a witch. Mm-hmm. And she has caused all these other people to be witches. And they allowed in court spectral evidence.
Spectral evidence.
Not physical, actual spectral evidence, which could be, I had a dream and this person is a witch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was fascinating. If you're thinking
Well,
about...
we're headed back to that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's coming.
start practicing.
It's coming. Take the haunted tour, learn more about Salem.
My spectral evidence. I'm going to start practicing my spectral evidence.
Yeah. Cotton Mather was the Puritan minister who was behind all of that.
Yeah.
He was a piece of work.